Good morning, welcome back. How are you? I hope you are doing well, your families are keeping well. So, yes, we are on day 6th in the month of June. It's a 6th day, and as we know that now the timing of our session has been changed from evening to morning. We used to do it late evening, but somehow now we are doing it early morning. Not early morning, rather, I would say in the morning. It's a good time to learn new things. But if you do not get time, as I always say, you can refer this video anytime during the day. All right, so let us begin. Word of the day. So, what is the word of the day? Today, what we are going to learn? The word of the day is intent. Yes, it is intent. I'm sure this word, you must have heard it, you must have read it, and you must have, used this word also in your day-to-day life. So the meaning of intent is purpose. Yes, purpose. Intent, my intention towards something, my purpose. His intent was not good, or his intentions were not good. So intent means irada, right? Irada. What's your intention? His intentions seems to be wrong. He did not have good intentions towards me. What is your intention, right? So intent means your basically purpose, right? So that is intent. His intent was good or not. What are your intentions? So that is intent. So make sure you use this in your day-to-day life, right? This is the new word of the day, intent. Yes, moving ahead. If you remember, yes, in yesterday's session, we were doing some activities because I told you that there are multiple activities which we have lined up during this week. And yes, this is going to be a Fundu week. If you see the title of this video is also is Fundu week. So yes, Fundu week. Why we are referring to Fundu week is basically throughout this week the aim is to give you as much as knowledge we can give you via doing some activities. Yes, because intent is intent here. My purpose is that we are molding the what do we say way we are molding the way of facilitation instead of telling you some serious stories, some serious lessons. I wanted to tell you something knowledgeable in a fun do manner. So I've kept some of the activities wherein you will be liking it, you will be enjoying it. Hence, if you keep watching this and you're gonna like it a lot, there are certain activities which you can do with your family members, with your friends, peers, colleagues, partners, with anyone. So those will certainly help you. Those will certainly help you for sure. So we were doing some activities, if you remember. Let me bring out that page for you. If you remember yesterday, we were doing this activity. What would you do? What would you do if you have that, or if you would be in that situation? So as I told you yesterday, it will certainly give you a situation to think, to encapsulate, right, what you gonna do if you get into that situation. So it's certainly going to open you the nerves, open the codes of your mind, and it will give you a platform to think. So when your mind starts thinking, actually, that too in English, when you need to answer, it literally helps because then mind starts gaining some of the words from outside dictionary. And I don't know if this has happened with you or not. Uh, if it has, please comment me because it certainly happens with me, and some of my friends and students has also shared this same thing. Some of the words, when we actually start thinking, when we have to, for example, answer, I mean, in these sort of situations or in any situation when we need to speak, and when we give time to thinking, some of the words come automatically when we speak, and we haven't read those words before. We don't know, automatically it comes in. Like when we speak Hindi, it's not like every word in Hindi we know, right? I know that we are speaking since from our childhood, but I'm sure it may have happened that some of the words when we speak, we haven't learned those words, we haven't heard those words prior. So that is why in English also, when you start thinking something and when you start thinking in a language, your brain is very powerful tool. It's very, very powerful tool. It's super power. I mean, computer is nothing in front of your brain. Exactly. So because brain memory so sharp, once that language is feeded here now, you can speak any word. I mean, automatically words come out. And when you realize that what you don't even know the meaning at times, but you, while you are in a, I would say, in a transit of speaking, you are speaking something, you are speaking in a good or a normal way. There are certain words you want to attach it, but in actually you will conceptualize that the meaning of this word would be this, but when you actually see, it happens to say it happens to be the same. So it is the power of our brain. When you start thinking something, it gives you certain energy and it generates certain words and which are actually in life. So what happens, there are certain reasons some words comes automatically, some we may or might have heard it once or twice, that we might have ignored it. For example, while reading the newspaper, a new word came in, we might have ignored. I mean, we are watching movie or somehow somebody was speaking, we our brain heard it and kept it here only. But when we are doing introspection, when we are trying to retrieve it, then it comes out automatically. So it could be a reason. So these sort of activities literally helps a lot. It literally helps a lot. It gives you wing to think. Once you start thinking English, automatically it flows out from your mouth. So it is very important if you are doing these activities. First and foremost, you are not going to get bored, right? Because these are very interesting. And you can change partners, you can change people, you can conduct these activities. You may mold certainly different sort of questions, but it's going to be fun. You might include it in your day-to-day learning, in your weekend learning, or whatever fits in your lifestyle. So yes, we're gonna continue the same. I don't know if you remember. Yes, I do also remember now. I believe first 8 cards we did yesterday. So we're gonna continue with the next. So first 4 cards, I believe. First question is, what would you do if you? What would be the very first thing you buy? We did that. What would you leave if you could have in the world? We did that yesterday. If you went on a desert, we did that yesterday. If you could meet someone famous, who would you meet? I believe we did that yesterday. Where would you go on holiday? Did that. If you found Aladdin lamp, it was very interesting if you remember, right? It was very interesting. We did that. What superpower would you like to have? This was also interesting. If you could travel in time, what would you go? Or where, would you go to the past or the future? I think this also I answered yesterday. So we did first 8 cards yesterday. So you can build these cards. You can take a paper, A4 size sheet, make certain cards and then write. And if you want to add a Pictionary, you can add pictures also. Pictures basically gives you a little bit of, I would say, inclination towards this, because we like pictures. When we see, if somebody tells me that you are an island, I will start imagining. If somebody tells me you are on desert, I will start imagining. It happens automatically, imagination. Whosoever we are talking to, they, if they refers to anything, and then we get into that mode. Somebody says, if you are in that place, if you're in the forest, I would start imagining myself in the forest. It happens. It's natural. Our mind take us to that place. No matter I have not been into a forest, but whatever I have seen, whatever I have heard, what kind of forests are, so my mind will take me to that. Because somehow we have for example, I have read in books, I have seen the picture of a forest in my childhood that was encapsulated here. Now if I think of a forest, my mind will take me to that place. So it is very, very strong, very, very strong. Whatever you sweet today, whatever our mind remembers everything. You can imagine once in our childhood we did a lot of activities, right? We did a lot of activities, but uh, we do remember. whatever. I mean, most of the things we do remember that we used to say in our childhood, we used to do that, we used to play it because this is very strong. So our mind is literally fastest and ever faster than supercomputer also because it made computer. Computer did not make us. Anyways, we're gonna continue. As I was telling you, you can take in A4 size sheet, draw something because pictures are attractive. It feels us that we are inclined towards them. We're going to do the next part. What would you do if you saw your friend cheating on a test? Now, what would you do if you saw your friend is you are on an examination hall, right? And maybe in your class also, one of your friend, mm, normal friend or best friend, cheating on a test. Cheating, it could be any cheating. For example, he got some notes in his hand, copying, pasting. He wrote something on his hand, copy, pasting, or maybe he's exchanging sheets with uh, some other people, some other students. What would you do? It's a very, tricky questions, I would say. The answer could be diplomatic. So if you ask me, what would you do if you saw your friend cheating on a test? To be very honest, it's like it could be, for example, we are sitting on a board exam and he's cheating. And if in case I say I saw it, and if I report it to the teacher or the invigilator present in the class, I'm sure that he will be uh, thrown out from the class. And it could be a situation when we are in a very, different stage of a examination. There are certain examinations wherein they found you cheating, they will investigate you. In not for a year, for some years. Yes, it has happened, and it happens. There are certain exams wherein if they found you are cheating, they will investigate you. They will ban you from that particular subject for certain years. You cannot prepare for that. So depending on the situation, of course, every situation is will be grave. So on that time, I may not complain to my teacher, right? On that time, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to uh, tell him after the class, after the examination, I'm going to tell him that, see, whatever you did today was not right because I could have complained you about you, but it could have led you out of this class or you may not have able to attend your paper. But okay, I will explain him. Plus, he will certainly will say, what's your problem? I'm cheating. Is it something harming you? So I will explain him why, what are the disadvantages of cheating. Certainly, the only advantage he can get is that he will clear this exam. But what else? After what? When we attain something by cheating, does it really mean it? Does it really mean it? Can you look into the mirror and say proudly that yes, I achieved it? No, we cannot. When something is given to us without any efforts, does it really value? No. If you have to achieve something, you have to work hard. Because if someone asks you anything, you have all that, yes, I did it, and you will be master in that. Just one example. For example, if you want to be a doctor and if you have cheated in the exam, you don't know practicality, you don't know experiments, and somehow a patient has come for the treatment or for the operation or the surgery, but you don't know how to do that. Somehow, as you were not aware how to do that, you just experimented and he lost his life. So what, did it really worth it? Will you able to forgive yourself for this sin? No. So this is just an example in which whichever field you are in. If you're an engineer, you have cleared the exam by cheating it, and somehow now you have to draw an article or a building where you need to judge it, everything, spares, measures, but somehow you found after a year the building got collapsed and fell down. Whose fault is it? Who was the engineer in charge? So basically, whatever you achieve today, you have to ensure that you do hard work and all. So all these things I'm gonna tell him that This is for your beneficial only. Afterwards or after a while, once you get married, your kids will ask you, Dad, how did you clear it? Or, Mom, how did you clear it? What are you gonna tell them? Are you gonna teach them the same thing? That yes, go and do some cheating. I'm sure you will never tell your kids, right? So why do you do that thing? Are you setting bad examples or incorrect examples in front of your uh, kids? So yes, this is the way I'm going to explain it, but I will not complain him directly, but I will tell you this is the way. And if still he doesn't understand, then of course the last option would be telling him that I'm gonna. So that was next question. What would you do if you saw your friend shoplifting? So yes, it's a cheating. You know what is shoplifting? I tell you, shoplifting is basically a theft, wherein you are picking something from the shop without letting him aware, without letting him know. Shopkeeper is not aware what you are doing it. For example, we go for window shopping. Window shopping is basically you just see the products, you do not buy it. So when you see in a mall or in a big places, so it doesn't happen. It may happen everywhere, but in your nearest shops wherein we have a patronage or neighborhood, it may not be possible because shopkeeper is available. But in the malls or in the big stores wherein it's an open market, you can pick and collect and go to the counter. You picked something, you did not go to the billing counter somehow. You hide it in the bag or in the purse or anywhere in the pocket. You came out. It's called shoplifting. So shoplifting, guys, it's honestly it's a theft. It's not that it is not categorized as a theft. So it's a complete theft. We should not be doing it because what happens if somebody is doing in your shop or if you are running a shop, so it's certainly a bad thing. So what would you do if you saw your friend? So certainly I'm going to tell my friend that if he has done it already, if he's in the process of doing it, I will stop him then and there. Okay, please. If he doesn't have money, I'm going to pay it, but do not shoplift. I'm going to tell him. But if he has already done it and now he's outside, I'm going to tell him that he has to go and return it. Certainly. If we say that if I'm going to return it, the shopkeeper might complain about me. I'll tell him that whatever reason you have to put it, but certainly he has to return it. Next is what would you do if your friend invited you for dinner and served something you hate? Then I believe he's not my friend. If somebody have invited me for a dinner or for a lunch and is serving me knowing the fact that I do not like it, then it's not an invitation. It was an insult. Exactly. If I know my friend that he doesn't like a particular dish or anything, I'm I am inviting him and serving him opposite with knowing intentions, then it's not a respect, it's a dishonor. So we have a saying, right? Atiti Devo Bhava. Guests are treated like God. So we should not be doing it first and foremost. For example, if I am a vegetarian, my best friend knows about it, and if I am at his home and then he has for serving he has kept some non-veg dishes, I will not be sitting there. I will be standing there. I will simply rush towards my home with a note of disrespect. I will never talk to him. So yes, if our friend is inviting us and some serving us which we hate, it's a honor of what I'm going to do. I'm not going to talk with that friend. He's not a friend. Herein, I'm talking about with knowing intentions. But if he doesn't know what I hate and if I doesn't know what, for example, somebody doesn't like Chinese, I'm inviting somebody and serving the Chinese, wherein I'm not aware. Herein, intention is that first and foremost, were you aware or not? If you are aware, then it's a sin, it's an incorrect thing. But if you are not aware of your friend is not aware, then it's okay. Then if for example, my friend is not a, I would not say rather a friend, or maybe friend, normal friend, but he wasn't aware that I don't like Chinese, let's say, and I'm at home, but I said, sorry, I don't like. So I'm going to tell him straight away, upfrontly, that I do not like the dish. Please don't mind. That's it. What would you change about you? What would you change about your personality if you could choose one thing? If you could choose one thing, what I'm going to change about myself? Hmm, let me think. Give me 30 seconds. I'm too modest at times. Yeah, too modest, too emotional at times. That I'm going to change because I know that people are quite practical. I'm not saying that we should be, practical throughout. I mean, every time practicality doesn't work. Yes, we are human beings, so we have certain emotions, but getting it over emotions. So we say everything should be in limit, but because people are emotional fools. So I want to change that because at times I get over emotional, over modest. I should be a little practical also. That is what I'm going to change myself. What would you change about your appearance if you could choose? If you could choose, what did it written? What you could change about your appearance if you could choose one thing? In terms of appearance, to be honest, as of now, I haven't found anything. But if it has to be answered, then in terms of appearance, like so, appearance is some. Let me tell you what in terms of appearance means. Means that if you are fatty, you want to be thin. If you are thin, you want to be fatty. So yes, in terms of appearance, I want to grow my muscles. Yes, so fastest, as fast as I can. I wanna grow muscles. What would you tell? What would you tell the truth to your friend if you knew it would hurt him or her? Okay, would you tell the truth to your friend if you knew uh, it would hurt him or her? So basically, would you tell the truth to your friend if you know that it's gonna hurt him or her? To be honest, we know that truth is a bitter. Nobody, digest it in one go. But it's certainly going to help in the future. I cannot make fake or I cannot be like a fake friend, okay, uh, whose foundation is on lies. So I'm gonna tell him or her if whatever is the truth, but depending the way I'm telling him, totally depends, not straight away upfrontly by making him understand. Moving to the last question. If you uh, won a lot of money, how much would you give to friends, family, and charity? What a question! If you won a lottery of money, how much you gonna give to your friends, family, and charity? So there is a saying, charity begins at home. Anyways, and I believe we all should be doing it. It's not only lottery, whatever is our source of income, if we earn 100, if we earn lakh rupees, whatever, we should always take out some money for some good cause. I'm here in charity is not like you go and do not donate this money to any NGO foundation. So you may do that also. But here charity means when you see someone, there are certain poor people on the roadside that times they don't know how to feed, how to feed in the sense they don't have money. So you can feed them if you want. So we should recommend not giving them money rather than helping them what they need. But at times we do not buy things for them. We rather give them money. It's okay. It's not you are just helping them. Whatever their need is, they can accomplish. At times we can certainly give them money also. But to be honest, this is a charity for me. So everyone must do it. So if I won a lottery, of course, goes without saying, either I won a lottery or anywhere I got the money from, I'm going to take out some contribution, some percentage to charity. That is for sure. And of course, friends. So I'm going to take out some portion from that money, which I'm going to party with friends, or I'm going to ask them if they are in need. Of course, party with everyone and then personally asking them if they are in need, they can certainly. And then family, of course. Family, the remaining portion would be with the family. So now they're asking how much. So let's say out of 100%. So I'll say out of 100%, 20% would be with the charity. 30% will remain in a friend circle. And of course, 30% with family. So 20, 30, 50, no, sorry, 20 charity, 20 friends, 30 family, and 30 me. So the 100 of the proportion of 100. 30, 30, 20, 20. Yes. So last question is, where would you be if you didn't have to be here now? So where would you be if you did not have to be here now? If I get an option, so as I said, I want to be in London, central London. Very nice place to be there. I have been there actually. So that is why I like London a lot. It's a central London, very good place to live, very peace and quality of life basically. So yes, these are the questions which we completed. What would you do? I hope you would have certainly loved it. Though I was just playing. I was telling you how to play these sort of questions as if you are posing or you are putting these questions in front of me and I was answering. So I would also like to know about yourself. So these are the questions for you. Please comment me and tell me line by line, like what would you do if you do? What would you do if it happens? What would you do? Right. Moving ahead, there are some more activities. As I told you, it's a fun to week. So we're gonna do some more activities. So what is next? Yes. What is your favorite season and why? What is your favorite season? So So you can pay this card also in the same way. If you see that, you can create it in a A4 size and then cut it in the papers, make those cards. What is your favorite season and why? So favorite season, yes. Seasons we know, summer, winter, autumn, spring, rainy. These are the seasons we have in India. So if you ask me, my favorite season, I would say winter. Why? Because first and foremost, I do not like scorching heat all the time. So sweating, you're going out uh, throughout your throughout the day at home. You have to switch on the AC to be wherein you are certainly discomforting your health. To if you are in AC to walk throughout, of course it is good, but it doesn't have a good impact on your body. Plus, entire day you are on water and different soft drinks and all you have to drink because you don't like eating anything and you cannot go out. So there are certain implications. So I like winters a lot. In every sense, winters are good for me. Okay, moving ahead. What special traditions are associated with different seasons in your country? So yes, in winters, what special traditions are associated with different seasons in your country? In our country, during summers, we have Holi, the festival of colors. It, it is celebrated in the month of March. This is for summers. And of course, after Holi, then in the month of June, Ramjan starts, right? And then Eid is celebrated uh, in the month of May, June, or it totally basically depends. After this is for in the month of summers. And then in the month of, uh, I would say mid-winters, October, November, Dishera is celebrated, and Diwali, which is part of festival of winter, rather I would say, or midwinter. Winters at times, November. Midwinter, we can take it. Diwali is celebrated with pomp and show. And then in the month of December, of course, winter, we celebrate Christmas also. And in winters, we celebrate Lori. Also, Gurupur, it is part of winters, November. Yes, it is part of November, Gurupur. And in the month, these are summers and winters. In the rainy season, we celebrate Independence Day, wherein we fly kites. Also, Raksha Bandhan festival. It comes in during the month of August. So every, rather I would say in India, in every month there is a festival, right? So if you get into the nitty gritties, because we are surrounded with different cultures, different customs, different values. So yes, in every month, or at least one festival in 2 months will be there. So yes, this is about the answer of that question. Have you ever been caught in bad weather? If so, what did you do? Yes, there was a situation. It happened in the month of, I do not know the month, but yes, rainy season. During the rainy season, I was coming to home, and it was badly raining. Yes, we could see the water level. Water was logging, and it was a huge traffic jam because red lights were not functioning, and water logging was quite bad, wherein the vehicles were stuck in the middle of the road, and it was honestly took us 4 to 5 hours to get out from that lane. I'm talking about the lane, 4 to 5 hours. That was the worst experience. Because when you are in a traffic jam, you get stuck somewhere, you feel bad about it. Right. So, yes, there was an experience. Do you think weather patterns are changing? If so, why do you think? Why do you think this is? Yes, weather patterns are changing because of global warming. Earlier, we used to have winter for at least 4 to 5 months. We started for October, and summers also for 4 to 5 months from at least April to July, and then the rainy season. But from the last couple of years, we are observing change in the weather in every phase of season. You know why? Because of greenhouse effect, because of global warming. The level of global warming is rising day on day, due to which uh, glacier is melting, tree, and you know what is the effect? Why it is happening? Because we are getting everything into industrialized. We are building homes, we're building industries, and due to which we're cutting trees, the land which is required for forest area. These days, you won't see a single forest. In fact, the land which has trees. So that is why we recently observed Earth Day, Environment Day. You know, why do we focus on that? The only intent is to save the environment, to save the climate. Because if we do not save the climate, there will be a day when we will not have enough water capacity. Of course, the level of water is reducing. If you see 20, 20, 30 years ago, we used to see water. If you go 10 feet down, we used to have water. But nowadays, you go 100 feet down, you won't see water. It's all shrinked. Why? The reason is that we're getting into a mode of development. So we are so engrossed. We are, of course, technology is important for us. I'm not saying that we should not be, but we should be think about the environment. Environment is really necessary for survival of human beings. Yeah. So every season it is changing, and the effect is, and there are certain harsh realities. Yes. And if you see, there was a movie called Robo, or the first part, well, not the first part, the second part. It has certainly shown us that birds, earlier birds used to chirp a lot in the morning. If you have heard those sound, I have certainly. But these days you don't see the birds. It's not because of they are they doesn't exist actually. Because of changes. We see every place in our area we would have mobile towers. Because if there are no towers, we may certainly face difficulty in calling and receiving. But there are multiple towers are installed, and those towers are really harmful for our life. They'll release certain gases, radiations, which are not good for health. And these are especially it should not be wherein we have a school or an hospital. So we are certainly, getting into a life of technology wherein everything we are getting dependent. But honestly, it's not going to serve. We should focus more on planting trees. We should focus on saving electricity, saving water. I've seen people that they're like, if a water is leak, like water tap is leak, they won't get it repaired. Unnecessary water is leaking everywhere. We don't close the tap. Lights. If you go out to office or somewhere, you should switch off the light. Or if you are not in your room and you're stepping out, we don't switch off the lights. It's like unnecessary. Fan is running, AC is running. So these small things matters a lot. Save electricity, save water, whatever, because these are natural resources. If we do not do it, one day they will diminish, and our coming generation will have to pay for this. Pay for this in the means they will suffer a lot. So we should be focusing more on that. Save as much as we should do best utilization of resources. These are natural resources. Make the best use of it. You know what happens in UK? Let me tell you. I'm going to tell you something interesting. UK, United Kingdom, they follow mechanism of daylight saving. Now, what is daylight saving? Daylight saving is a mechanism of they, you know, the clock they follow, the wall clock. They switch 1 hour before during summers. Let's say, for example, in summers, but why? Because in summers, sun rises early. Sun rises around 5 in the morning, and in winter, sun rises around 6 in the morning. So what they do in summers, they struck their clock 1 hour behind, 1 hour behind. Reason being, so that they can observe sun energy. They can utilize sun energy. So they switch off the lights because sunlight, and they don't have so much of buildings. I'm not talking about urban areas. Buildings, of course, they do have buildings for the. Saying the society people live in. They don't have bungalows. They live in is places where it is full of uh, trees and good surrounding. So they do 1 hour behind their clock is 1 hour behind during summers, so that they start their daily routine life 1 hour early and they can utilize sunlight. It's a fact. You can check, you can ask anyone who is staying in UK. It happens throughout the UK. So their daylight saving starts from end of March and it ends it in the month of October. Yes, throughout the country. So we should be focusing more on environmental things. Okay, moving ahead. Do you have many disasters in your country which are caused by weather? If you remember, in our country there are multiple disasters happened. I can recall some of them. One was tsunami. If you remember, tsunami 2005, I believe, five, near about 4 or 5. Tsunami came in, and certainly it was a disaster. Earthquake in Gujarat early in 2000s. It was a disaster. Kedarnath, it was a disaster. And after that also, after a year, something was happening in Uttarakhand. And there were certain more which happened in Uttarakhand, I believe. So there are multiple disasters we have seen, we have observed. This is caused by weather, right? So yes. It says, which do you like better, hot weather or cold weather? As I told you, I like cold weather. Which month gets the most rain in your country? Honestly, due to global warming, we do not. The ideal month of raining is from end of July till September, 3 months basically. But we hardly get 3 months for the raining season because of greenhouse or global warming. So yes, in the month of August, but now this is basically unnatural rain also comes, right? When we don't need it, because when farmers they yield crops, and then in the month of Jan or during winters, when we see rain, which is not good for crop, which is not good for us, we observe it. You know why? Because of global warming. It's not a, I would not say natural rate. Of course, it's a natural. I will say natural, but shouldn't be a natural one because we don't need it. And then we see a lot of, you know, what do we say, loss happen to farmers because they yield crops and somehow it rained, so all the crops are destroyed. Next is, what is the average temperature in your country in the summertime? Average temperature is 40 to 45 is an average temperature. Do you think weather affects the way people feel? Yes, of course, it certainly. During summers, you all will be in anger. You all will be in anger. You won't feel like doing anything. If people ask you anything, you will feel like don't talking to anybody. You will not be in a jovial mood. Especially you can see in summers, you can see the roads. You see a lot of people are fighting, blah, blah, blah. We don't like traffic jam. So many things happens. And during winters, we feel peace. During rainy season, of course, right? So of course, I believe weather affects people, of course, on their mind, on basically overall. So do you think weather affects the way people they feel? Yes, I do. What are the different kinds of weather? We already discussed summer, winter, rainy, spring, and autumn. Where do you get your weather information? Weather information is available. There are different modes on Google nowadays. In our smartphones, also they show us the temperature, right? And they show for the upcoming, like what's going to happen afterwards. What is your favorite winter activity? My winter activity favorite is barbecue. Barbecue in the sense, flame the light, flame the two woods, light in camping. I do like it a lot in winters. Yes, camping is really good. Playing guitar and eating food. I do like it. What is the hottest temperature you have ever experienced? Where and when was it? And what did it feel like? So the hottest temperature I have experienced in my city, and it was 52. Yes, where it was in New Delhi when it was in the month of May. Yes, when did it feel like? It feel like hell. We feel like hell, honestly, because it is 52, wherein you cannot step out from your home. If you will be having heat stroke. And then just think about the people, they don't have home. Think about the people, they do not have air conditioners at home during this summer. Think about those animals, stray dogs, and so many, right? So yes, it's not only for us. It's not only that, of course, we are at home, we may switch on our ACs. But when I think about people who do not have those privileges or certain things which are not in our control, it literally gave us goosebumps and feel us that thank you, God giving us so much blessings. Yes, moving ahead, what is the weather like today? So it seems like 30. What is the best time of year to visit your country and why? The best time to visit in the country is, I believe, in the month of December, wherein, yes, December will be a big month of, I would not say rather it's a positivity. Every month is a positivity month, but yes, due to weather, it's December. So yes, these were the activities which we covered, right? So I believe you all liked it. There are multiple activities you can see on the screen. So these are the ones which we did today, right? So there are more activities to go. There are more uh, Fundu week. As we told you, this is going to be a Fundu week. We're going to do a lot of activities. Before we wrap this class, I'm going to give you some more tips so that you can implement throughout, and then we'll wrap it up. Pertaining to communication skills, pertaining to English, first and foremost, do not hesitate. Yes, do not hesitate that if I speak this word, will it be a wrong? Will it be a right? No. Do not feel like what would other person feel if I'm speaking I'm wrong, or do you actually know that other person knows English or not? Why do we make perception? The bad part about it is that we make perception. If I speak English, he will catch it easily, right? We make perceptions. Remove that perception. Secondly, if you speak anything confidently, I can vouch on that. If you speak incorrect also, the other person, first and foremost, he or she will not catch it. He will not be able to catch it. So it will totally depend on your confidence. If I know English very well, but I do not have a confidence, when I'm speaking, I'm getting fillers. The other person, then I'm giving him the opportunity to think that I don't know English. Despite the fact I'm very good in speaking, I know fluency very well. I can speak it. But when I'm getting stuck, I'm giving an opportunity to think to the other person कि इसको नहीं आती. Wherein I know it very well, but because of my confidence, because I'm getting stuck, it's all about my confidence. On the other hand, वो English medium है आपका, normal है, but you're speaking in a confident manner. You might skip some of the words, is a mar, some of the tenses, grammar could be incorrect, but other person, the way you are speaking confidently, nobody going to judge whether you spoke incorrectly or not. It's all about our confidence. When you are speaking in a confident manner, nobody can gaze us. It's a fact. It's a proven fact. Until and unless you are getting into an exam wherein the examiner is going to check everything. But if you are in a normal conversation, nobody is going to check. It's all about your confidence. Second, I'm giving a live example. For example, confidence on the confidence. Somehow you're driving a car or riding a scooty or bike. You got it caught by traffic police, traffic cops. They ask you for license and they ask you that somehow you, uh, you're, I mean, you have violated the rule, and you tell them, you bluff that I'm an advocate, and totally on your face, if you're telling them, for example, you are on a reality, you're an advocate, but you're getting fillers, you're getting nervous, I'm an advocate. They might sound you are faking. They might ask you, give us the ID card, show us ID card. And then also they will ask so many questions. But I give you a live instance, one of my friend, though it's not a good thing, but I tell you that instance. One of my friend, he was driving the car. Somehow he jumped from the red light. The traffic cops stopped him. He came out of the car. They called him. He approached towards them. And then they asked him that you violated the traffic light. He said, I'm getting late. I'm going to a court. I'm an advocate. So they said, advocate? He said it very confidently. Yes, I'm an advocate in this particular, he said the court name very confidently. He spoke about. Then they said, okay, show us the card. Though he was stepping towards his car for getting an iCard, they told him, "Sir, excuse me, it's okay. You may go." So the confidence level I'm talking about, though he was not an advocate, on the other side, the first person was an advocate, but they asked him, it's confidence level. The last example which I'm going to give you, then we'll wrap it up. You see cricketers or Bollywood stars. I'm not defaming anyone, no offense to anyone, but I have seen certain cricketers when they are on stage during presentation, their English is average. But do we actually notice this? Do we actually say it now? It's not. We don't, because he's famous. So if you are famous, then everything shadows down. If you're famous, everything shadows down. So I'm not saying it get famous and it's okay, but it's all about the confidence level also. So confidently speak whatever you speak. That is a funda. So here we take a bit now. Now, as I said, this week will be a fun week. Tomorrow we're gonna do some more activities and we're gonna learn something new. So thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching this video. We're gonna continue this pace throughout the week, and there will be so much of learning for you. Thank you so much. Good morning, good day. Have a nice day. Take care. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.